Where do you get probate leads? Hey guys, it's Brad from probateHouseGuy.com. So I'm a real estate investor. I specialize in probate and inheritance properties. I actually have a very unique way of getting probate and inheritance deals and leads that's a little bit different than what most people are aware of and what I'm going to talk about here. If you're interested in maybe becoming one of my strategic partners, I'm actually buying deals all over the country, and I need real estate agents and experienced investors throughout the country who want to be probate inheritance specialists, where I can provide leads and deals to you through my marketing efforts. So if you're interested in working together, go to probateHouseGuy.com. So today I want to talk about where to get probate leads from. So probate leads or probate deals, everyone's been doing these the same way for a number of years, right? If you don't know what probate is, maybe you probably shouldn't be watching this video, but if you are watching this video and you're looking for probate leads, you probably already know what it is. And traditionally, people are getting probate leads from probate filings, from petitions for probate. So when someone passes away, or their family members or their heir, the executor, or maybe there's an administrator appointed if there wasn't a will, they are going down to the probate court in their local county or municipality, and they are filing a probate petition. They're petitioning to open a probate case in the court so that ultimately they can, most of the time, sell some assets, or maybe they're settling some debts of the estate, or transferring some ownership of assets from the deceased to the heirs, or whatever, right? So they're going to open a probate case with the court, and all of that information is public record. You can go down to the probate court and actually get that information. You can get copies of the petitions, and you can basically take down that information. You'll have to go down to the courthouse and get it on whatever schedule you want to do. In some areas in the country, you can actually get that information online. Some places you have to sort of pay a small fee to have a subscription. Other places, it's completely free. Usually the subscription is because there's a sort of a vendor that owns a software that kind of manages that for them, and you're really just paying the vendor, not necessarily the probate court. So you can go get those leads, and usually there's contact information in those leads. There's a phone number, an email address, an address for the estate representative, whether they're an executor or an administrator. And you would reach out to those people, whether you cold call them, whether you email them, whether you send them direct mail, whether you send them letters or you send them postcards. And really this applies to both real estate agents. This also applies to real estate investors. And then there's some other sort of companies and industries out there that might utilize this data, right? When these probate filings happen, typically you have to understand that these people are getting heavily marketed to, typically within the first 90 days or so of the probate filing. You're not the only person getting these leads. There's lots of people hitting these leads. And what I have found is that it is if you've ever read the book Blue Ocean Strategy, it's very much a red ocean, right? There's lots of sharks, there's lots of blood in the water, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's very competitive for those leads in that short term. But one thing you also need to understand is a lot of these people in the short term have just filed for probate. So A, they're probably not done with probate yet. So you're not even going to be able to close a deal anytime soon. It's probably going to be a few months before you can do that. And then B, they probably don't have the mental capacity or the patience to sort of deal with you right now. So you need to keep that in mind when you're marketing to these. You can also buy leads from probate leads providers. And you might ask, Brad, why would you buy a lead when you can go get it yourself? Well, you have to understand what your time's worth. I do probate deals on a very large scale. I started doing them many years ago, and I've made them my focus in the last few years, and I only do probate and inheritance deals. Now, if I get a referral in from my network, from a real estate agent I know or whatever, I even get leads in from my old website just because I'm ranked from an SEO perspective for like We Buy Houses and Sell House Fast and stuff like that. So I still get deals from my old website. It's still active, but I don't actively pay Google anymore. I don't actively put any effort into that website anymore. So I get deals from that, and I get deals from real estate agents that call me with referrals, and I buy stuff from wholesalers, that sort of thing. But I still actively do direct mail probate lists, and I do it on a very large scale basis. Like I send out tens of thousands of postcards every month, and I don't really do letters anymore because it's really expensive to send letters on that large of a scale. So I choose to do postcards because it's cheaper from a price perspective, right? If you are buying these leads, you're paying for them to go get the leads. Now, you can go get them yourself, but when you're doing them on a larger scale basis, it sometimes doesn't make sense to go get them yourself. So it's usually better if you buy the leads from someone else. And I found many years ago, I got to a certain point where I had a virtual assistant in the Philippines that was sort of gathering this information and organizing it and setting it all up. And what I've discovered was it cost me essentially the same amount of money to buy the leads from a leads provider as it did for me to pay this virtual assistant and manage this virtual assistant and make sure they were getting the leads together. So I got to a certain point where that made more sense for me to just buy the leads from a leads provider. Now, the other answer is, hey, Brad, where do I buy leads from? Who do I buy from? Well, I have two vendors that I recommend to buy leads from. If you're interested in buying probate leads, just comment leads in the comments below, and I would be happy to reach out to you and send you my recommendations for these two different vendors. These will be affiliate links, so I'll get some, revenue share from this, but I have two different vendors I recommend. One of these vendors, you're gonna have to pay for all the leads up front. So there's a bigger upfront cost. The other vendor, you will pay on a monthly subscription basis and you will get the leads once a month. The first vendor that you pay up front, you're gonna get those leads quicker than the other guy, depending on when they fall within the month. And that can be good and that can be bad. But again, there's an upfront cost with this one vendor. They make you pay for everything up front. And then the other vendor, you don't have to pay up front. You're just going to pay on a monthly basis. So I have these two different vendors I'd be happy to refer you to. And there are some other ways to get probate and inheritance deals. Obviously, you can network with probate attorney outfits. But if you are newer at this, generally, they're probably not going to want to work with an inexperienced person because they want to make sure they're referring their clients to someone who's actually going to close on deals, who's actually experienced and going to get the job done. So if you're newer at this, that might not be the best strategy, but it is another strategy where you can partner with probate attorney firms and get the leads from them as their dedicated house buyer or their dedicated real estate agent. I do get leads from some probate attorney firms here in the Atlanta area where I live, so that is a potential lead source there. So that's my sort of all-in-one coverage of how to get probate leads. There's many different ways to get it. And like I mentioned, I have a very unique way of getting probate inheritance leads. It's a little bit different than what I just talked about here. And I am looking for strategic partners to work with all over the country. I need real estate agents and I need real estate investors. And I have some markets already taken in the US to be my leads partner in the market. There's a small subscription fee to that. And then we'll just do sort of a deal split. Real estate agents, there's really just I can't, because I'm only licensed in one state, I can't legally collect sort of a commission referral if I'm not in your specific state, if I'm not licensed in your state. So it would be just sort of an upfront lead. You just basically pay per lead. But real estate investors, we can do some deal splits. If we're partnering on deals, we can work things that way. So if you're interested in working together, go to probatehouseguy.com. You can either pick up the phone on the website or there's a contact us link on there on the site. You can fill out the form and reach out. Be happy to talk to you a little bit further. So thanks again for checking out this video. I'm Brad from probatehouseguy.com. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.